Welcome everyone. My name is Mike Hamilton, and this is the 9th of December. And just going through the data first before I zip through the markets and talk to you about the trades I'm setting up. And this week, the main data is Wednesday US inflation out before the open. So looking for a slight month-on-month increase. And then we have uh, ECB rate decision, looking for a rate drop on Thursday in Europe, and then UK GDP before the markets open on Friday. So starting off on the dollar index, looking for this to slip back further. This is a daily chart of the dollar index, heavily weighted towards the euro and the pound. So you can see all this resistance up here that we're just bumping into right now. So that's why I'm anticipating with selling in from some weakness last week, looking to see if this can pull back to this buy zone from early November. If we do drop back there and hold, then I can see this stepping up into early next year with a potential for that to rise through early 24 into some of these resistance areas up there. So if that's the case, let's have a look at the pound US quickly. Pound US is recovering as that dollar pulls back. So dollar could, sorry, pound US could creep up to this 130. So I think this 127.50 is viable. We're under the averages here, so we need to close above 128, 130 pretty quick. You can see we are sitting up above this support down here. So I think short term, I think the pound can get back to that 130 mark with GDP levels on Thursday as discussed. Uh, yeah, it is Thursday, isn't it? Friday. Anyway, my favorite currency at the moment is this pound yen. We've had a very nice day today, poking up through. I'm looking for further recovery in this pound yen to potentially come back to that 200 mark as well. Right, gold has risen today, but it's knocking its head on a lot of congested resistance up here. So we've got the 200-day average, we've got this trend line sitting over the top. So I think 26.50 is now buyable based on that bar, but I would jump ship if we break down under 26.25. Okay, so if we subsequently break today's high, we then look as if we can come and see 27.36 and potentially go back up to those highs. If I pull back from this, this could well be work out to be a great bull flag. But like I said, it's got a lot of congestion to get through. Let's see, 26.50 is tested and holds on the back of that performance today. But otherwise, be careful. And let's have a look at oil. Oil has had a push higher today. Come on, where's my chart? Yeah, so third test, fourth test of this trend line support down here at 67. So I think 67.50 is viable. Again, it's a very congested area up here. Not long to go before the end of this trading year. If we slip back, if we break under 67, then we're going to see 65, possibly lower. I think OPEC are meeting tomorrow. But on the back of that trendline support, I would still buy 67.50, see if we can pop back to 70. any close above 70, and that's going back to 80. Cyclically, we do tend to get a good close into the year and a move into spring. If I take you back to what we saw last year, um, so early last year, we pushed up into the year end, pulled back into January, and then got a really nice break up into 86, 87. So if that pans out again, we'll see a climb into year end, pull back in January, and then a move potentially up to 70, 75, 80 up here if we repeat that over here. So we'll talk about oil stocks on the back of that in a moment. And if I'm going to still keep eyes on this wheat before I look at stocks. So this wheat is attempting to hold this 545.50. We close above 570. As just repeat what I said last week, really. If we can hold that and see 550 hold into the year end, then I think we can climb up. But it's had a terrible year. Ever since that push into 730, we've had lower highs and lower lows. So the jury is definitely out on this one. Right, let's get into stocks. Let's have a look at Pru. Right, so Prudential, here's another three touch. Broke down to support here, broke up and held support here, held on Friday, and here we are um, close to 7. If we close above 7, so I think 650 the pullback here. If we close above 7, then I think we can climb back into 8 plus into the new year. 200-day average is sitting above us. So last time we touched the 200-day average was in May at 833, and we dropped to £6. But if we can potentially mull around here but hold, I think Peru stands a decent chance of getting a run back in this year into next. Uh, Barclays. So let's stick with financials for a moment. I'll just go and find Barclays. Typical, I've not got it on this list. Right. Let me go and find it. Let's go and punch it in. That's not, what have I done? That's not Barclays. Right, Barclays. Holding up. So this pullback in November at 235, I've seen that going to 270. It's had a massive run from 122 last year, last autumn. So there is a lot of resistance up here, but if we can hold this pullback, if we can cling on to 250, 260, then I can see that going to potentially £3. Let's have a look at. So the last big move was here. Yes, 285 would be that extension. So any pullback to 250, 260 is buyable to see if we can get to £283. Any significant drop here and lower close under 250, then back off. I like this one. Sticking with financials, LNG, legal and general. Any pullback to 230 is struggling up here at this resistance area. It's actually a gap fill there. We filled a gap down on the 7th of June. So I still think there's time on this one. This sector's doing very well. So any pullback into 225, 230 I think is a buy level on LNG, legal and general. And what else in that sector? Nope, let's finish with that sector. Have a quick look at telecoms, Vodafone, kicked into resistance. I think that obviously the merger has just got the go ahead with three under a lot of conditions. Any pullback to 69 in Vodafone, I think is viable. A stop underneath that support. See if we can get back to 80 and a pound on that one. If we don't dip, you might have to buy higher if you want in on that one. But hold out for 69 and 70 to see if you get filled on that. BT, stick with telecoms. So that 130 pullback took us into 160 and now 150, well, 156. So if you want in on this one, I think you're going to have to buy at 150 with a view to that potentially going back to 172 pounds. It's a slug, it's a slow one. So don't chase it and get out if 150 is not held. So back to financials, direct line. This is a miss for me. I got hesitated on this one. That pullback to that boomerang at 152 is good. If we see £2 anytime soon, you might want to take a look at that. Yeah, you see that's gone into the 250 extension. Any pullback around the £2 mark is viable. Not sure it's going to do it, but I'm not chasing. Right, I've finished with that now. Let's look at with the sector. Let's move across to techs. IQE. I think this IQE dipped. They lost their CEO, I think. I think the CEO resigned. That pushed this right back. But I think if we see 10 again, 10p, I'm going to be a buyer with a stop under 8 to see if that can. Not that long ago, we were 37p. Tracked this one a lot over the last few years. I'm liking that one. Yeah, saw that the initial spike in direct line earlier this year was the same approach, and they've come back in the market. Aviva come back in to try and snap that up. Hence the reason why I'm not chasing it. Oil, talk about oil. BP is a very nice move on volume. So that's a buy at 387. Now this one is a cheapie. We'll look at Tullow in a second. Let me just look at. I've forgotten the ticker. What is it? Here we are. That's gold. No. Let's look at general infrastructure. Be careful with this one. The fundamentals, the accounts are not great, but this is such a key area. But we did hold on volume here. I would give this more time. If we close above 70, I think general is a buy. If you want to risk getting in down here, then try and pick up 65 with a stop under 63. If you want to be more cautious, wait for more confirmation because that is because if we break 64, then that is lower and potentially coming down to 54. But I like general. Let's look at this cheapy gold stock. Keep staying on commodities a second. This is a lovely move from 5p. If this comes back to 6.5, ideally 6, I would be a buyer to see if that can get back to 12. So not chasing it, looking forward to seeing if that can drop back. That's GGP. Momentarily forgotten the name of it. I've written it down. Let me just go to my notes. Greatland Gold. This is one I've forgotten to put on my watch list, but it's an infrastructure stock. RNWH. Keep an eye on this. You can see we dropped here in August into 990 and went to 1150. We just had a higher close on Friday. Again, we could so easily come down to 950, 960 on this. So I would give this another day, but it's just one for the watch list. Renew Holdings, RNWH, Railroad Infrastructure. Right, and crossing, looking across to Centrica, Centrica is having a nice run off of this 110, 113 push. It's too much resistance up there. So just if we ever see 120, 125 on Centrica, I would take a look at that. SSE is looking good as well. Now that is a much better chart. This is such a crucial area for SSE. If we hold here, we could work our way back to 20. We're currently 17, so that's a good one, I think. Um, right, moving across. That's AJ Bell, pension company. You can see 470 is important area here. That's recently been 520. Uh, Very decent volume spike here, holding all the averages, holding this support from July. So I like AJ Bell here. And this is Pension B. Sticking with that sec, this is very interesting as well. Very recently touched 190. Volumes are not great here, so I much prefer AJ Bell. But if you want to punt on this one, then try and pick up 150 with a stop under 145. We've got a lot of history back here from May this year. This is the point back in May, we went here and went up to that 192. So Pension B has got a lot of potential. This one is already run, BOY. So I need a pullback on that one. Anything else you're looking at, guys? What are you looking at? Well, the miners are doing really well. They're holding up. Good, yeah. Good is doing, or has been doing very well. Any pullback to 36.35 is very high at this stage, relatively. Um, might even see 33.50 if you, that's quite a drop. That's not a very nice bar there. We're creeping into this sell signal. Um, so if we break 38.50, I can see that at least dipping back to 33.50. 33.40 is the main support. Might well see that coming back. There's definitely potential for this to run. If we break that high, we're going to see 50. If you're not in it, okay, if you're in it, stay put with a stop under, well, really, you've got to go under 35 if you want to stay in it. If you're not in it and looking to get in it, then wait for that. See if we get that, what, see if we get that touch to 35 I just talked about. But it's very high here, so it's been on a decent run and could well fall right back if it doesn't hold that 38. I'm just putting too many lines up here. Let's just simplify this. So simplification, if that closes under 38, then we're going to see a decent pullback. And this last run kicked off at 32.50, so there is the potential, if we don't start closing higher here, there's a potential for that to come all the way back at 32.50. Right, back to some gold miners, Griffin. So this one was right up there at 174, pulling back to 150. So if you're not in gold stocks and you want to get in gold stocks, this is one to consider. Uh, 144 is a key pullback area in that one. If we pull back and hold and subsequently break out, then that's the potential to the 190 plus in Griffin. The volume's falling off here, so be careful. That's it. Let me see if there's what else I got. Um, any other energy stocks? GKP just had a nice pullback to 133 today. This is Gulf Keystone. So that is looking like a nice pullback. So 135 in that one. You might see that creep back to 170 plus. Um, looked at BP. Tullow. Tullow is definitely attempting to, that's decent volume down here. If you're not in Tullow, then consider buying 22 and consider a stop under 20 for a move back to potentially 30 on that one. Um, yeah, your cousins that dipped and then subsequently did well, didn't it? BZC. Yeah, nice. So we broke under the April support down there at 76, and here we are close to 90. Um, on volume as well. So that looks as if it's got more juice. As I said to you last week, if we come under these levels and close above, that's a good reason to be on high alert for to buy pullbacks on this one. So we looked very weak early November, started climbing towards the end of November, and then had a very nice close on Monday the 2nd. And here we are up there doing well. So any pullbacks to 85, 86 could see us get to 102 plus. If we really get going, could wind up in the weeks, the months ahead up there at 115 plus. OSB, I forgot what OSB. Oh, raspberry. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Yeah, this is having a nice run, isn't it? So are you in this? It's a little high now. Yeah, so back here in November, again, early November. Very nice buy signal there on the 6th. Um, any test of 350 now is a pullback area. Otherwise, that at the moment, that doesn't look as if that wants to pull back much on raspberry. I need to make a note of that one. Um, your OSB. Wow, this is another one that's been on a good run. They look really sick in August. For, I mean, if you're not in it and looking to get in, I would look at £4. I wouldn't chase that because we've not broken above that August 15 drop. So all the time we're sitting inside that August 15 range. Um, I still think there's time to buy this. I would look to see if that can get back to £4. We'll just look at one more Anglo Gold. What sentiment? Oh, right, okay. Let's look at the US. Um, 25 is a major support area, which is a gap fill as well. So I would look to see if we can see get 25 on that. Um, if that holds on volume, then I think that's viable. So I presume sentiment is just off the map now, then if that's a buyout sort of right. Um, I don't know when I don't know what the situation is with sentiment, but yeah, okay. So we had a big shoot up on me. I don't know if maybe that 10th was the buyout bid. Yeah, it's gone. Okay, all right. Leave it there. Thanks for joining me, and thanks for your contribution. Much appreciated, and I will see you again soon. Okay, anything I see during the week, I'll update you. Otherwise, bye for now.